As Americans, we are bound together by a single fate and a shared destiny. We rise together or we fall apart. My fellow Americans, our movement is far from over. In fact, our fight has only just begun. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again.
Remember when Republicans used to go on and on about how great America is? Well, Trump just said, it's not a great country right now. Let that sink in for a moment, and let me get this Trump weaving thing straightened out. His dubious hairpiece is not the topic at hand. The weaving seems to be a really cunning rhetorical device. But is Donnie Diapers being smart, or is this just another example of his incoherent antics? Trump revealed shocking information in his most recent interview with comedian Andrew Schultz. Rather than rambling, he calls it weaving. Indeed, what you heard was accurate. Like a mad Spider-Man, our former president believes he can enchant people with his words.
The term MAGA, Make America Great Again. I'm going to make this country great again. It's not a great country right now. It's loaded up.
It's always a great country.
I won't wax poetic unless it's a tale, Trump declares. Weaving things together is what you do. What a revelation. We had assumed he was babbling before, but now we see that it was all a part of his plot. He seems to be engaged in a game of four-dimensional chess, while the rest of us are occupied with checkers.
Well, we have some of the dumbest leaders in the world. We have losers. We have losers. How stupid are they?
Or perhaps he is merely amusing himself. But hold on a second. Trump asserts that mastering this weave necessitates an extraordinary memory to retrace your steps. Because after all, the phrase stable genius isn't complete without the occasional mid-sentence blank, is it? What follows is an examination of this weaving in further detail. Do you recall the question regarding Trump's reaction to the COVID-19 pandemic? Before returning to his excellent pandemic reaction, he began by discussing his travel ban from China.
Said many times that the U.S. is doing far better than any other country. Why is this a global competition to you if everyday Americans are still losing their lives and we're still seeing more cases every day?
Well, they're losing their lives everywhere in the world, and maybe that's a question you should ask China.
But then he went on a tirade about the media's harsh treatment of him. Everyone. That is not a weave. What a confusing jumble of words. However, things start to get intriguing at this point. A cunning tactic to evade difficult issues. Trump's weave is more than a pretentious moniker for his word salad. He begins weaving a story about the success of his company when questioned about his tax filings. He weaves a tale about his stern stance on Russia whenever asked about his connection with Putin. Observing a toddler attempt to justify the scribbles all over the walls is akin to that. And here's the kicker. Trump thinks this strategy makes him appear intelligent. He points out, there are those that are fair that say this guy is so genius. Sure, and some reasonable people think he's completely crazy. Oh, and you mean patata. The potato, yeah. The true risk here is that some individuals will truly believe this crap. Wow, he must be really smart to keep all those thoughts in his head at once, they think to themselves as they listen to Trump's prattle. In actuality, it's more akin to a collection of meaningless phrases jumbling around in a vacant mind. Though Trump's weaving is complicated, his connection with Mike Pence is deeply interwoven. How did this political fallout go from great friends to couldn't cross the line?
Today, before God and my family, I'm announcing I'm running for President of the United States.
When did some individuals start yelling that the former vice president should be beheaded? The plot thickens surrounding Trump's private relationships, and now everyone can plunge in. Do you recall how close Trump and Pence were? Those days are over, and you might wonder if Trumpy Grumpy even understands the meaning of friendship after hearing his most recent remarks against his former vice president. Our beloved orange turd recently sprung the bombshell in an interview, saying, "I've taken up Mike Pence." He couldn't cross the line of doing what was right, in my opinion. What a subtle way to express your admiration. It's analogous to, I picked you up from the gutter, and you still couldn't do the one thing I wanted. You look dapper, Donnie Diapers. The problem, though, arises at this point. Recall that Hang Mike Pence was a common chant during the Capitol protests on January 6th? Oh, I see. That did in fact occur. Oh, and you know what? The well-being of his ex-best friend doesn't appear to be a top priority for Trump, as if he were participating in a warped version of Simon Says, with the mob as Simon and the gallows as the prize for the loser. Hey, politicians disagree all the time. You could be thinking, I don't see the point. Listen up, sweetie. This ain't no ordinary political quarrel. For two former heads of state, the animosity between Trump and Pence is unprecedented. Observing your parents' argument is like being a witness to a divorce. Except instead of disputing about the House, they're debating about the preservation of democracy. But hold on a second. Trump's treatment of Pence goes beyond simple resentment and egotism. Politics based on allegiance is the real issue, and this is just a symptom of it. Nothing matters in Trump's universe, not even whether you're doing the right thing or not. The only thing that counts is your loyalty to the great man. This is a really risky way of thinking, everyone. It would be the same as if the Constitution were swapped out for a loyalty punch card. Well done. Destroying 10 democratic values is your crime. Dear leader, gives you a pat on the head as an award. Does this reflect our ideal political climate? The worst part about it all, as far as Trump is concerned, demanding unwavering allegiance is par for the course. Since Pence rejected his overthrow democracy proposal, he is behaving as though Pence had done some terrible treachery. It's as if he thought Pence would be his personal ally rather than an official oath taker to defend the Constitution. Questions have been raised by Trump's most recent remarks, which range from slamming allies to putting the entire nation under a steamroller. Overnight, his stance shifted from America first to America's not great. Also, for the true mystery, why is the man who professes to love America beyond all else also its most vocal critic? Our orange turd has taken a surprising turn and decided that the United States isn't so wonderful after all. Yes, it is correct. The man whose name became synonymous with the slogan, "Make America Great Again," has changed his tune. I will make this country great again, Trump recently said. At the moment, it is not a great nation. What a surprising turn of events. You may be asking, hold on a second, isn't this the same man who embraced bald eagles and draped himself in the flag? Looks like Grumpy Trumpy has changed his mind, guys. Perhaps he has simply lost track of his own slogan. No one can possibly keep track when they are engrossed in weaving, can they? However, the truly strange part begins at this point. This recent wave of anti-Americanism isn't limited to Trump. The same people who used to yell USA, USA are now just nodding along when he insults the nation. It's as if a group of devoted sports fans were to unexpectedly begin supporting the opposing side. Why is that? The old Republican Party would be ashamed of this. Who can forget George W. Bush? Republicans in that era would never have dreamed of claiming America wasn't great, even in the face of adversity. They only sang, "God bless America" and "support our troops." "America sucks, vote for me" is now the more common slogan. Consider this a change in approach. But hold on a second, Trump isn't merely griping about the United States. A big plan is what he has in mind to fix it. Please type Project 2025. There is no bleak future setting in this science fiction film. It is Trump's grand scheme to weed out his political rivals and install his devoted adherents in government positions previously held by nonpartisans. You can't make America great again by transforming the federal government into an organization devoted to Trump's supporters. Can you? We are not dealing with your typical political dispute here. A sea change has occurred in Trump and his followers' perception of the United States. It's as if they've come to the conclusion that the country must be awful if it can't be just how they envision it. A political tantrum is like a toddler refusing to eat their dinner because it doesn't include ice cream. But listen up, everyone. This kind of behavior is harmful as well as bothersome. An alarming sign emerges when a political figure begins to claim that the nation will not be great unless they are in power. Such rhetoric is common in nations when the foundations of democracy are being undermined. Such countries have leaders who begin to value themselves above their country. Now, I'm confused. Could this be another one of Trump's weaves? Or is he genuinely furious about the United States? Is he attempting to persuade us that he is the one savior for our nation? Maybe he's just upset that he is no longer the president and he's acting out. I have a crazy idea. When a politician attacks the nation they seek to lead, maybe we should take it a little more seriously. Perhaps we ought to inquire as to why they are so keen to dismantle everything. No one individual, no matter how orange they may be, can be the sole determinant of America's greatness. Perhaps we should keep that in mind.